All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? Saturday morning here in Australia. We're experiencing a heat wave. It's 40 degrees. It's only 9 a.m. Needless to say, I'm going to be inside most of the day. I might go to my pool, but I'm going to be going live twice today. This is live stream one of two. We have a lot to get into. Stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be, in this live, we're going to be going over the current odds. I already gave one of my picks in our Discord and in our Patreon. We're going to go over one, two. I have three more picks. I'm probably not going to bet on every single. I never really bet on every single fight. There's some crazy odds, but there are three bets that I really like that we'll be getting into, and I'll share with you guys. And then I'll take your questions. I do want to start like reading the thumbnail. We'll take a look at the weigh-ins. We always talk about on the channel when we're getting ready to put our money on these fighters. We want to see their what they look like in the cut. So I'm sure you guys already seen the footage. I want to go over it together though. So we'll go over the Javier Herrera weigh-in. We'll go over the David Kaniba and Ajit Cabello weigh-in, and we'll go over the Subriel, Matias, and Dalton Smith weigh-in. There's other stuff to talk about. I've been watching a lot of content on other channels, mostly the Brits, pretty much, mostly the Brits. And it's interesting how this narrative with boxing content creators right now is being spun everywhere you look. That Dalton Smith, that when it comes down to the drug test in November with Subriel Matias, it's not like he just failed a drug test and they're just miraculously fighting. The commission came to a conclusion that said the drug tests A and B sample were from tainted supplements, contaminated supplements. So if you're creating content and you're saying that Subriel Matias failed a drug test and you don't know why he's fighting, that's a lie. If you're saying that Subriel Matias failed a drug test for doing steroids, that's a lie. You have to say Subriel Matias failed a drug test initially and then was deemed that it was contaminated supplements. You just have to tell the whole story because I'm seeing like multiple accounts. And look, guys, I was going to put them on blast, but some of the accounts I follow, and there are a lot of them are British accounts, YouTube content creators, and they're all running with this narrative that Subriel Matias miraculously failed a drug test for steroids and they don't know how he's fighting. Well, it's out on the internet. The drug test in November, the sample came back positive for ostarine and I think maybe nandrolone. And then the B sample, when it was tested, the amount was so small, the commission said that, hey, it's probably from contaminated supplements, which we've seen over the last few years. We will put you on a random drug testing cycle for the next 12 months. Am I defending steroids? Hell no. I hate cheaters. I hate drug cheats. I hate steroids. I hate any athlete, especially in our sport, who feels that they have to cheat. What I don't like more than all that, though, are half narratives. Being a writer, an author, an independent journalist of boxing, that's the one thing I hate probably more than anything is when narratives are spun with half truths, at least say the entire thing. If you're going to say he tested positive, which he did, you then also have to say the same testing body said that it was from contaminated supplements. Because, depending on who you're fighting, this is going to be a great fight regardless. You don't, boxing, we've seen it. Guys do steroids. And guys get banned. If I was in charge, if you got caught 100% doing steroids, I would ban you for life. That's how big of how much I hate this thing. I hate guys who cheat. I hate guys who cheat at anything. I hate cheaters, but that's an ethical thing on my end, right? If you're a pro fighter and you're fighting in a sport where people die and you test and it's 100% proven you've done steroids to gain a competitive advantage, lifelong ban. Get out the fucking sport. I look at it like that in boxing. I look at that in MMA too. So, but just so you know where I stand. So I'm not defending Subriel on that end. I'm just defending the truth. That being said, what do you guys think of the weigh-in? We'll zoom in a bit more. You know, people are talking about the ticket. I don't think ticket sales are doing too well. I don't. I'd love to be there. If I had the opportunity, if I didn't live in Sydney, I'd go to this fight. The undercard's pretty decent. We know about Santiago and Cedeno getting scraped. Cedeno had eye issues, so Cedeno didn't pass his medicals that fight top. Both guys look pretty decent. Both guys look drawn out. Both guys are cutting a substantial amount of weight. Dalton looks ready. Subriel looks ready. I'm excited about this fight. And you guys by now should know who I'm going, who my money's on. Big Steve in the house. Big Steve MMA. What's crack a lacking? Big couple weeks incoming for you, brother. We got the fights finally starting January 25th. It's an awesome UFC card. We'll get to that when the time is right. But I want to get your opinion on some of those fights. Maybe you pop on. YTB, appreciate the super chat. You remind me of Chris DeStefano, Chrissy D, comic stand up. Yeah, I know Chris from. I've seen him on my buddy's show before. But I used to watch. I haven't watched. Chris is a big boy. I haven't watched Rogan in probably 3 years. I think I told you guys this story on my live stream before. Nothing against Rogan, right? I was an OG Joe Rogan listener from like 2011 when it was. I remember watching Rogan's podcast with him and Red Band, okay, before Young Jamie, and you know Rogan's the guy who platformed my boy Tony. So I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, same neighborhood, you know, on the north side with Tony Hinchcliffe. So I'm friends with him to this day. I've met Joe Rogan. I personally hung out with him multiple times. When I had to stop listening to Joe Rogan, it was November 2023. And if you ever meet Joe, he has a scar from here to here. He has a scar like this big, a massive scar behind his ear from like the early days of hair transplants. He probably got hair plugs in like the early to mid 90s. I think it was like news radio days. That being said, November, you guys could probably timeline this and see the exact podcast. November 2023. And it like I run 100 kilometers a month. I've been doing it since October of 2020. So I would listen to Rogan's podcast while I was running my 100K. And I still run, right? I just don't listen to music now or podcasts. And he was talking about how he loves his shaved head. He's gone bald. He was like, you know what? Even if I could grow hair, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. Even if I could grow hair, I would still shave it. And I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You've butchered your body to get hair plugs, and now you're standing on business saying that even if you could, it sounds super petty, but that was like a culmination of like, because I'm a I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and my podcast used to be sponsored by On It. I did a podcast, his old company. One of my first podcast tours in 2016. We were sponsored by On It. We filmed it on it. You can find the On It podcast with me on it with Aubrey Marcus. I've interviewed Aubrey's in my second book, so I was connected in that scene. So I'm a big functional strength guy, and it was just like an accumulation of all of sort of like absolutes regarding fitness. I was like, you don't have to do that, or you could do things this way. And then it was like I would skin my head even if I had hair. I was like, I'm out. I got to get out. Let's back to business. Yeah, I'll hit you up. We got some fights to talk about. All right, I like alternate lines. I think the fight will go. All right, guys. So I want to play you Ajit Cabello real quick. I want to look at that Ajit Cabello versus Kaniba. A comment I made earlier in the week about this fight, I kind of got clowned for. All I said was, does anybody think that Kaniba is live? Right? Now, I don't. My bet on the we know Kaniba's massive, 6'7". We know Cabello, the run he's been on. That people love. Neither one of these guys are polished. Big boys. There is a prop I do like, and guys, I'll go over the prop. There's three bets that I really like. I want to look at the Javier Herrera weigh-in as well. How do you guys see this fight going? This weekend's really not the most massive boxing. We know that. There's the card in Germany. There's the card in New York. Now, I initially was going to go heavy on the Santiago versus Daniel fight, so that fight's off. I'm going heavy on the Dalton Smith, Subriel, Matias fight. I'm pretty much only betting on 3 fights now. I was going to bet on 4 fights, and in those 4 fights, I was going to do a single fight. I was going to do a 3-fight parlay. I was going to do a 2-fight method of victory. And then there's some over-unders, and we'll go over all that. I want to know your opinion on Matias versus Smith, Caballel versus Caniba, and we'll play one more. And then I'll pull up the odds. And then the Javier Herrera fight. Which this is an interesting one. And the reason why I'm referencing these is because there's some money line props. Or there's some over and unders. There's some method of victory props, and we'll go over them. This is Herrera. Guys, neither one of these guys have ever been 12 rounds before. So I think this is a 12-rounder. You know, things usually end early. We know about Herrera, exciting Cuban fighter. So these are the 3 fights. I like the distance. Golden Boy screwed over Jorge. I'm leaning Jorge decision. Let's pull that up. I'm going to pull up the Bet365 odds. Wherever you guys in the world, I'm in Sydney. So this is Bet365. We're going to be looking at these. The first one I'm going to pull up is the Ejit Caballel round option. All right, so this is, and I'll show you the bet I really like. We'll cover all options first. Look at these. I mean, come on, guys. The money line is horrible. I don't expect any of the boys to bet on this money line. I'm at this stage of the game, I've been really focusing on the betting side of boxing for about 6 months. I mean, sharing it with you guys. I've always, broken down fights. Doing live streams like this, been about 6 months. And the longer I do it, the more I'm learning about value for betting, fights with odds that are so. If I pick 4 fighters who are like minus 900s, big favorites to win from my perspective, and they all win, what am I really doing? I'm giving you guys, we have an educated chat. You guys should know, if you're in the game, these massive favorites, for the most part, 90 to 95%, the massive favorites will get the job done. We're trying to be a little bit more educated, a little bit more sharp with what we're doing. So when I see a fight like this, it's a main event, that in a fight weekend that's not the busiest, we have to get a little bit sexy. We have to dissect our tape a little bit more. We have to be more educated about our approach. Ajit Caballel on the money line, why bet that? There's no return on that, right? Now, I was playing the devil's advocate earlier in the week. I was seeing who in the chat was feeling Caniba by upset. There's a few guys, and there is a conversation there. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm going to show you my play. My play yesterday was $1.75. I shared this in the Discord. I also shared it on in our Patreon, and I'm tired of if you guys didn't know, I don't like the marketing side of what I do. It kind of running my own fitness businesses. You're not going to find me. I'm not the type of dude to if you have a service people want, they'll find you. So if you want to join our Patreon, join our Discord, the link is pinned. Our group is growing. We're at about 350 insiders in that group, the Discord and Patreon. I shared the round bet, and I think we talked about it on my live stream 2 days ago. Now, 2 days ago, it was at plus 175, the bet I really like. This bet is now at plus 200. Ejit fight ends inside 9. This is what and Big Steve, this is where and I think this is where the game within the game will be 1 through 9 or 1 through 6. I don't think it's going to be on the money line, right? So here, look what we're looking at. I have action on 1 through 6. I'm salty that I didn't get it at plus 200. I got it at plus 175. So the odds have actually increased. Now, I also like Big Steve's bet. 1 through 9. So check this out either way. So either way, 1 through 6. Let's say Canelo hurts him. I mean, the hedge on either way, in my opinion, is worth it. You're losing 10 cents. 1 through 6 or 7 through 12. I don't mind either one. I just to be fully transparent, I'm rolling on 1 through 6. I got it at plus 175. It's now at plus 200. It's gambling for a reason. This will make this fight more interesting for me. Wherever your money is, if you're torn on Canelo with some of the New Yorkers are, I shared a voice memo from Tommy Randone. Happy birthday to my boy Tommy Randone. He he's not taking Canelo and Paulie's not taking Canelo, but they're saying they're not betting on this fight. So if you're torn, your gamble should be either fighter, Canelo or a Jit, 1 through 6 or 7 through 12. I like both of those bets. I'm rocking 1 through 6. I shared it with you. It's in the Discord, it's in the Patreon. We're gonna move on. I want to talk about the Javier Herrera fight, and then I'll bring you guys on if you want to come on. Guys, wherever you are in the world, we're floating between 40 and 60 on this live. Could you like this video? Could you subscribe? And to join our Discord, the link is pinned. It's a couple bucks a month. You become part of our community. It's not just boxing either. We're launching our first Stats Don't Lie MMA video next week. And guys like Big Steve MMA, who's an MMA sharp, is in our group. Nick from Breaking Bad, great boxing and MMA journo as well. So we're going to go Javier Herrera. Now, I've already done tape on these guys. What I'm doing here is looking at, we're about 24 hours away from our fights. Ricardo Nunes. Okay. Once again, it's another one of these money line. I'm not stoked on this to put it on the money line, right? That's not what we're doing here. This is another prop that I like. It's a round. I started doing the rounds 2 weeks ago, like putting money on it with the Nakatani. We hit the over 8.5, and with the Inoue over 5.5, and I parlayed them. So that began my sort of journey on using these round margins, which I like, and it's actually opened my mind from a different sort of side to bet on. So when I'm looking at these massive money line favorites, once again, unless you're doing like a long parlay, you put a bunch of favorites on, not a lot of value. Those are fun too, and I'm still going to continue to do that. But this is like, where is the value? The money line shit, but here's one I like. And it doesn't pay that well either. And some of you guys might even say that's not even worth the squeeze. But what I like here, I like Javier Herrera 1 through 6, $1.53. I think he's going to get it done. You know what I'm saying? This is his record. He's ready to pop through. Everybody's talking about this guy is next. He's an exciting Cuban fighter. He's aggressive. I think he's going to get his work done early. This right here will probably be my prop of the week. It's only 53% return, but it's still sharper than the money line and even sharper than, like, will the fight go the distance? Yes, at 550. No is only paying like $1.10. So my bet, if people are like, Johnny, what's the bet to make on Herrera versus Nunes? I'm taking 1 through 6. With that being said, we're gonna move on now and have a look at the Matias fight. There's a lot of props on this Matias fight between him and Dalton, and the Discord, which I like, we're torn, and this is why I love what I do. Thank God you guys aren't like, hey, John. Thank God everyone's like Subriel's gonna win. I'm glad there's Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith could win this fight, but I'm not taking him. Dalton Smith is, he's a good boxer, but I'm not taking him. This is one of these fights for me. When there's a handful of variables that are leaning one guy, like the A side, the travel, the promotional side, I think the only way Dalton wins is to knock him out. I don't. Then again, people like Liam Perro went to Puerto Rico in Dalton Smith's home country and outboxed him and won a decision. He won without knocking him out. I think this is a little different though. I don't really level up Dalton from a boxing game. I don't think Dalton can handle range like Liam Perro can. People are so quick to compare Dalton Smith to Liam. I don't think so. And so I like on this fight, the money line is still in play for me. $1.61 for me, 61% is high enough for me to play. It just depends on what your unit of betting is, what your bankroll is, how much you spend normally. You know what I mean? If you bet guys who are look, boxing is a sport. One of the best things about our sport is we have no seasons. Same with MMA. Boxing and MMA, we don't have to wait 3-4 months for the season to return. So you have to have a long-term approach in how you're betting. You should all know what your unit of bet would be, whether it's 10, 50, 100. In our group, we have guys whose units are 1,000. The larger it is, 61% return is a good return for a money line bet. And Dalton Smith at plus 130 is live. Don't get it twisted. So me personally, if you take Dalton, I understand why. I just don't see, for me, if I was going to bet a half unit on the dog, like a half unit on the dogs are barking, right? If I'm going full unit, I like full unit on Matias, right? So there's strategies of how you're going to bet. It also depends on where your bankroll is. Now, a prop on this is I like the over. I like the over, and I also like the late stoppage for Matias. I think that the body punching will be there. I don't think Dalton hits hard enough to worry Matias. I think Matias's volume is going to bother Dalton. And I want to know how long. Does anybody know in the chat how big the ring is? That's interesting. It's an interesting thing. I don't think Dalton Smith is going to be able to do what Alberto Puello did using the entire ring. And I felt like when you watch the Alberto Puello fight, even if you scored it for Puello, which I did, I gave Puello the fight. Matias's feet were better than I thought they were going to be. So whatever side you're on, I had Puello winning the fight. I bet on Puello. But the one thing I was impressed with was I thought Subriel was much more flat-footed. I was expecting him to be much more flat-footed side to side than he was and much more slower. But his angles, how he was moving side to side and chasing down Puello, he still landed 250 punches. That's another prop I wanted to look at. Shout out to Ali TV. He's a Patreon member. He sent me this. He sent me this punch prop. He was like, Johnny, look how many punches Subriel landed on Alberto Puello. I think it was somewhere between 240 and 250. He landed on Puello, a slick southpaw mover. Now the fight went the distance. If you're gonna take this punch prop, you have to rely heavy on Dalton being able to survive the fight. But if you take this punch prop, you could still win, and Dalton could win. So this is an interesting. So 250, even if you want to be safer, like 250 for him to land 250 punches, it's plus 200. Now, a safer bet, because now I'm like, if I'm betting Subriel Matias on the money line at $1.61, I think the 200 plus punches at $1.83 might be safer, and you don't even need him to win. So these are just more options for you guys who are A, learning how to gamble, learning how to bet on boxing, or B, like me, who've been betting on boxing my whole life, who I'm learning different, I'm experimenting with different routes of betting. And this is also, I'm probably going to put on in the Discord. I love Subriel to land 200 punches at $1.83, 83% return. So those are the three main fights. We're about 25 minutes in. 50 to 70 of you guys are on. I'm going to leave the stage open for you guys. If anybody in the Patreon or the Discord wants to come on live, let me know, and I'll share the link. I'm going to start saying what's up. Mike Tyler back in the Brit. I think Dalton could get it done and last the distance. Salute everybody. I compare Ergashev style with Dalton Smith. Let's see where we're at with the chat. Yeah, Paro. What's up, Goat? Where you been at? I ain't seen Goat since the holidays. Paro's game has way better feet too. I heard Sergio Moore, but compare Paro and Smith. Dude, there's a lot. Goat. There's a lot of people comparing. I think what's happening is when we're doing our triangle theories, and you're on Team Dalton, the safest mental play for you is be like, well, Liam did this, Dalton could do it. I think people are undervaluing Liam in that comparison. Agree on Herrera, Ajit Cabello, fight not to go the distance, fight to go the distance for Bravo and Campa. Yeah, I'm not betting. No shade. I'm not betting on the Nestor Bravo fight or the Javier Cintron fight. The fights I'm betting on full unit or more are the ones we talked about. Will I be sharing my long parlay? Yes, and I'll probably have it. That's just the money line parlay, and I'm going to put Bravo on it. But guys, just so you know, those are just more fun. Those are half unit parlays, long parlays. We still have our December and January parlay live as well. That's a plus 600. We shared that in the Discord 5 weeks ago. So that's still live. The only fight I think we need for the long parlay for December and January, we need a Jit to win and we need Subriel to win. So we'll see how that goes. Rando! Johnny, what up? When are we getting the debate? When we get in the debate on the Matias fight with G, he rock mode Smith. For the time being, I'm solely focused on my channel. I'm not really like when I do my business side of stuff and growing my brand and channel and all my little side quests I'm doing. I'm focusing solely on my channel at this moment. But I didn't know. So Gary, dude, Dalton's live. Gary knows what he's talking about. Came back and I'm a 6-monther. Yo, I miss Goat. Forgot about my homie. Keys up. Ajit walking onto him and snatching that body. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Have you ever seen a more brutal body puncher than Ajit, but the punches don't look that brutal? I'm trying to think of an adjective. His body punching, even the one he caught, I think it's the Zhang fight, it looked just cavalier. It's just real nonchalant. Yeah, those few guys that like Kanibar. Nick. Unibet allows alternate lines on over and under. Yeah, I don't know what Unibet is. Chat's popping. I reckon Campa is live. I've been away. I'm still in these boxing Betty streets, though. Mela Consabar, you could if you got to join the Discord to jump on, and then I'll give you the link. Dalton Smith is for sure younger, more fresh, future ahead. Ergashev did when he fought Matias. Christ the truth. Christ the truth. Christ the king. I've been in these boxing streets. I heard there was something with muscles finessing. What the hell happened if you don't? Goat. You missed. All right, guys. If you're on the chat, somebody fill Goat in with Ticketgate. Just go to my channel and in the search bar of my videos, search Ticketgate, and you can see. I don't want to get into it. Can you give us? We'll do that in a second. We'll do that. Mervin, we're approaching the 30-minute mark here. We're gonna put together that parlay. I said the other day, Ajit the best body puncher in boxing. Yeah, you know what that tells you, Kiza? Accuracy, punch placement, punch selection, timing. I mean, when I'm sparring, like for instance, if you guys if you've been with me for a while, you'll know that I love body punchers. As a boxer, I love going to the body. A lot of that is I spar with my clients, and I don't want to hurt them. So, and as a kid, my dad would always say in street fights, Johnny, don't hurt anyone to the face. If you're fighting one-on-one, break down the body because you can't get sued. He was like, my dad's advice when I'm like 14 in high school. He's like, if you ever have to fight anyone, don't break their nose. Go for the ribs, evidence-wise. It's easier to say, it's easier to deny. Not deny, but like, he didn't want me breaking anybody's noses I grew up with. He was like, just hit. So when I'm sparring to this day with my clients, being able to find the perfect body shot isn't always the easiest thing to do. The liver, the liver is right below the right chest. So if you guys are unaware, a liver shot from an orthodox position is going to be the backhand side. So where the right nipple is, right under that right nipple, the right pec, sits the liver. So it's about right here. There's like a sweet spot. And mate, if you've never been hit in the liver, it's hard to understand. I'd much rather get hit in the face than in the liver because the body reacts in a certain way. It's almost like the nerves that are running through that organ shut off or shock you. And so it's not always the easiest to pinpoint that exact turnoff button, but it seems like Ajit Caballel knows where it is all. Like he finds it, and it's interesting to watch because like we're talking about, he doesn't. There's no wind up on it. There's no fat on his punches. It's almost like he's really good at it. You know who else was really good at it? Mickey Ward. But Mickey Ward went about it a little bit differently. Mickey Ward would hunt the body. He would time your backhand, and then he would swoop around and catch you from behind. And so he would wait until you would throw your backhand. It's one of the traps that made Mickey Ward Mickey Ward. Most people know Mickey from Arturo and those wars that he was in. He fought a great fight against Emmanuel Augustus. And that's one of the saddest things, in my opinion, and I'm a huge Arturo Gatti fan. One of the saddest things, though, in my opinion, about the Arturo Gatti trilogy with Mickey Ward is that fight fans forgot about all the other fights Mickey Ward was in. Mickey Ward versus Emmanuel Augustus is a fight to watch if you've never seen it. The Drunken Master, Emmanuel Augustus, dude, fucking so criminally underrated. I always talk about if Emmanuel Augustus is the perfect example on why fighters need promoters, why it's like the rare argument of why promotional companies are important. Because Augustus didn't have a promotional company. He'd always put his hand up to fight as the B side. He lost so many close fights that could have went his way. His record is not what it says it should be. So anyway, watch the Emmanuel Augustus Mickey Ward fight. But Ward was a body puncher. He would bait you to throw your backhand. He would time you. I'm talking ortho versus ortho, and he would punch around. Now, Ajit Caballel is going to be more shoulder to shoulder with you, hip to hip, and he's going to time you there. He'll catch it straight. It's a little bit different. It's fascinating, dude. Body punching is, in my opinion, always been my favorite. And this is why I love Robert Garcia's camp. So RGBA, if you know anything about Robert Garcia and the fighters he trains, Virgil, the big ones, Virgil Ortiz, Bam Rodriguez, but there's a slew of them. Chop Chop's in there now. We got Anthony Cuba, our boy Anthony Cuba. He's a fan of the channel. He's fighting. He's fighting soon. He just released some fight news. What the Garcia camp teaches is body head. I love that combo too. Whether it's think about Danny Garcia, he would go backhand straight to the body and then come up top with the head. One of the most beautiful knockouts you ever see. Garcia would level change, catch you with that backhand to the body, and then come up with the hook. RGBA is more like in the pocket, same side, body head. I think body punching is a lost art, and Ajit Caballel does it in his own way. Very interesting technique on how he lands his body rips. I'm going to the fight, and I can't decide who to pick. Have fun, GK. I know you're going to win whoever you pick. Your picks have been on fire. I'm way worse on 6-0. I'm way worse. Death slow kill. Ajit Caballel under 9. Yes, that's the bet. Wherever your book is in the world, Ajit Kaniba under 9.5. I know that our boy who we were talking to, Steve MMA, he has the under 9. I'm rolling the dice going under 6. It's just what my book is giving me. So Mela Consabor, did you join? I'm just catching this real quick. You feel very helpless. Where do I have to go for the link, evidence-wise? I'm just catching up to the chat real quick. Yeah, Mike McCallum, nickname Body Snatcher. I missed the beginning. What's the take on? What's up, my man? So I like a JIT in the under 1 through 6. If you get 1 through 9. Okay, Mila. I'm just checking. I'm going to send it to you. Did you join on Patreon or did you join on YouTube? Mello, just to clarify, our Patreon and Discord is a private VIP group. Everybody with the stars next to their name, they're in. I'm going to check the YouTube to see if you joined. And then I'll send you the link. Yeah, you got to join first. You joined on YouTube. Well, if you joined on YouTube, you would have a star by your name. But let's go. I think Kaniba can go 8 rounds. He's not really. I think Kaniba can go 8 rounds. He's not really that bad. He knows how to. No, he is. We got some guys who think that. So here's the link. So click that link, Mela, and then join there. And then once you join there, you get access to the Discord. I think Kaniba can go 8 rounds. He's not really that bad. No, let's. I'm going to show you what the Discord's saying. And boys, let me know where, as you're tapping in, I want to know any sneaky sharp money. Because some of you guys be holding out in the Discord. Who do we have? Well, one of the boys in the Discord are big. We have a big heavy hitter who bets like 50,000 on bets. He always share. I want him to share his bets before. He's a big chalk better though. So guys, this is our Discord. Just so you know, it's not just boxing. It's NBA. It's a full-on professional betting community, right? So we have I give you my picks every week. You see Johnny's picks, but NBA, NFL, NHL, soccer. We have an off-topic section where the boys sell crypto in there, and then boxing and MMA is our bread and butter. So we're gonna go. We have we're up to 350 VIPs so far, and we started this in August. Okay, so here's Big Steve's take. I bet within 9 rounds, a Jit fight at $1.80. I'm not mad at that bet. Not overly confident because I'm not sure on Shin. So bet within 9 rounds. Kaniba has killed Zhang and Mahmoud, who are both super durable. These tall, long dudes generally weak to the body. I like Steve's take here. So I like that take on the body work. Ajit, it just depends on how greedy you want to get. Do you want to get 1 through 6, 1 through 9? And that's the play. That's kind of the general consensus. Guys, in our group, we have our own algorithm. So you see the area here? So our moderator, one of our moderators, his name's Gil. He's a beast. I'm gonna give you free game. So of the 350 people, our entire Discord will vote on every fight every week. And as we get the consensus of all the votes, we develop our own parlays, right? So this is our group. Johnny Says Boxing Discord. Cabello versus Kaniba. 23% are taking Cabello. 3%. The majority who are voting, 57% are taking Cabello by knockout. Let's see what Smith says. So this is the Dalton Smith. The majority of the votes, 47% like Matias on the money line, 20% like Smith by decision, 20% like Matias by knockout. Herrera and Nunes. 21% like Herrera on the money line, 21% like Herrera by decision, 36% like Herrera by knockout, and then 14 like Nunes as the dog. It's all right, brother. Yo, Mela, I go live every day, big dog. So Mela Constabor, I do live streams every single day. So whenever you join, one of the features is you get access to the live streams. So I'll be live again in about 4 hours. And then what I do is I share the link in the Discord, and then whoever wants to come on, you could come on and spit game. Guys, any more questions? We're about 40 minutes in. There's a Subriel Matias Dalton Smith fight. There's a Kaneba. Any other questions on some of the fights we didn't cover? Let's go. I'm gonna pull up sports bet and we'll do a long parlay real quick. We'll do one of our. This is just gonna be a money line parlay. We'll see if we could get any decent odds. I'll share this now, and if you don't catch it, I'll put it in the Patreon and I'll put this in the Discord as well. If you're in Australia, use the other betting app. Use Bet365. I'm only doing this on Sportsbet because the interface on the live stream is better. But the problem, I have to say this every live stream to the new Aussies here. The problem with Sportsbet on boxing is they force us to do a 3-bet odds, win, lose, or draw. And if there is a draw on one of your money line picks, your bet loses. So I always say to be safe, use Bet365, okay? I was looking at this Say 6 Schaefer. This is on the Kaneba undercard. I think Salami is live here on the lowdown, but I'm not going to bet this fight. Look, give me a couple hours. I'm going to look into Dietz. I was looking at Dietz versus Salami yesterday, and I was thinking, boy, I think Salami might be live here. Looking at their record, their pedigree, neither guy has a bunch. I think Salami's 9-0, something along those lines. Roman Fury, easy work. I don't want to bet him. Bakshi, easy work. These are just money line bets. Easy work. Easy. Like, these odds suck. Nestor should be able to beat Campa. Rodriguez. I mean, Fernando Diaz might be live at plus 800. I'm still going to look into that. Sandoval versus Cintron. I mean, what you guys really going to go heavy on this? This is just an experiment. 10 legs plus 200. I'll let you know about my second live stream if I'm going to go live on this. Big Steve Herrera fight is where the money to be made. What are you thinking, though? Are you thinking you like that early knockout? I think it's going to go, yeah, like we talked about a little bit earlier. I like the Herrera 1 through 6. I like Herrera 1 through 6. What's your play here, Steve? I might even go 1 through 4. I might go Herrera 1 through 4 here. So right now, 1 through 4 plays plus 125. You know what? We have to roll the dice sometime, boys. So this is Hadi Herrera. If you don't know who he is, he's a Cuban who lives in Dubai. 17-0, 15 knockouts. I just heard that Sky Nicholson is moving. She's an Aussie. She's from Queensland, but we know she's based her fight camp and her lifestyle out of the UK. She just announced she's moving to Dubai, and I guess I'm referencing that because in terms of the training, the gyms, the sort of fight scene that's growing there, the cost of living, obviously no taxes. I guess it's a spot to be. And then you see a guy like Javier Herrera, a Cuban who's living in Dubai. Maybe there's something there with being a high level boxer and some other perks that we don't know about. 23 years old. People are saying this dude is that dude. I'm 23 years old, 5'9" southpaw, 17-0, 15 knockouts. People are saying this dude is that dude. Not a lot of huge names, but I mean, this is the fight that's gonna, we'll see Ricardo Nunes. Didn't Ricardo Nunes get stopped against John Fur? Every time I see that name, I'm like, I swear we made money recently in the last 12 months with him getting knocked out against Jonathan Fernandez. Yeah. in June. Yeah, he's coming off. Nunes was dropped in the second, the third. So he didn't get knocked out. It went to the. It was one of these fights where it went to the cuts, but we won money on it. 26-7, 3 knockouts. 32 years old, 5'6" Panamanian fighter. I think I'm playing. I think I'm going to roll the dice here and take 1 through 4. That might be a bit disrespectful. It's a gamble for a reason. 1 through 4 could very well happen plus money. Yep. 1 through 6 seems very safe. I agree. 1 through 6 right now is paying $1.53. So it's like if you deduct another 6 minutes from that bet, your odds increase from $1.53 to plus 125. It's kind of like how active is Herrera going to be? How much urgency is he going to fight with? Is he going to play with his food? Does he want to get his fighter? Does he want to get Nunes out of there early? All of these questions. The reason why I do like 1 through 4, like I said, is that 23-year-old energy. This dude is going to come out with his foot on the gas. I'm going to roll with that, Steve. I'm going there. Herrera got dropped with a body shot in his fight that went to decision. So you're saying, what are you telling me then? His youthfulness, 23. Was that the Flores fight? BoxRec isn't showing that he was down. What fight are you talking about? Flores was down from the body. What fight did Herrera get dropped? Gotta love his nickname. You think he might be live? You betting on him? Enriquez cut. Flores down. The fight he went to a decision was 3 years ago, was 4 years ago. He was a teenager. If you're talking about the Mark Yap fight, there's no knockdown ruled. I don't see Herrera knocked down in any of his fights. 17-0. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate the discourse though. This is why I love. This is why you have to have a chat that's both sides because, you got me looking, you got me investigating Magic Kush, and I like it. But I still like Herrera early. Boxing booth 1 through 6. Yeah, so that's the difference. 1 through 6 is $1.53 on my book. 1 through 4 is plus 125. It's gambling. I'm gonna go 1 through 4. I think. I'll let you guys know for sure. Plus 125. And then yeah, we're kind of salty that Santiago versus La Bazooka is off. Bazooka has an eye issue. Couldn't pass his medicals. That's unfortunate. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm going live again in a couple hours. You guys are beasts.